Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bee and today is a very exciting video. We are going to be choosing my April TBR. Building this TBR is going to be interesting because I'm currently in the middle of a few books, maybe like 5, and some of them I will be just putting aside to finish at a later time, but there are 2 that I would like to finish in the month of April, and then I have 2 different book clubs I'm gonna have to read a book for, and then the rest of the books I'm going to be choosing from my TBR jar. On average, I read about 6 books a month, and this TBR is going to be a little bit bigger than that because I want to give myself some wiggle room while still sticking with the TBR jar picks. So let's dive in. Starting off with the books I am currently reading that I would like to finish within April, we have Pandora's Jar by Natalie Haynes. I've read 1,000 Ships by this author and really enjoyed it. That was a few years ago, but I am a Greek mythology nerd, and so I really wanted to read this. She has another one called, oh goodness, what's it called? I don't remember what the other one's called. I'll put a picture right here. But this one specifically is all about the women in Greek tales. So we have like Pandora, Helen of Troy, Penelope, etc. So not exactly the Greek Olympians that are women, but the other women that are in the stories. And it's really interesting so far. I've read the section on Pandora specifically, and it compares Pandora to modern media and how that tale, although it's not explicitly Pandora's jar, how Pandora was created as a villain, and the whole discussion about whether what she did was actually evil or not. I'll dive into it when I do my monthly wrap up, but I'm really enjoying this, and so I really want to read this. It's a nonfiction. I'm not typically a nonfiction reader, but if it's a topic like this that I really, really love, then I'm going to read it. And it is taking me a little while to read it because every single section is about a different woman, and I've been taking like heavy notes on it because it's so interesting. So yeah, book number 1 I want to finish in April. The next book that I'm in the middle of currently is Glasgow Boys by Margaret MacDonald. I was recommended this on Goodreads because I love Irish literature, and this is about Finley and Banjo, and they are 2 different young, I think one of them is about 18, one is probably like 20, something like that. I don't know. I don't know if it gives their exact names, but it seems that like they used to know one another, but now we are in a current timeline where they are not in contact and they're doing their own things, and they keep having references to one another when they go through their memory. This is very, very YA coming of age, and I'm not a YA reader either, but I'm really liking this. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm really enjoying it, and I will give a full in-depth synopsis of it in my wrap-up. So now for the 2 books for 2 different book clubs. The first book club is my roommate book club. There's 3 of us that live together, and we decided we all love to read, and we decided to not really put a timeline on it, but just whenever read a book together. There's no deadline for reading it. But we chose for our first time ever, so this is like our April, even though there's no timeline, Candide by Voltaire. I don't know how you say that. But we've been calling it Candide. That's probably entirely incorrect, so I apologize. I'm aware that it's probably incorrect. But yeah, I've never read a Voltaire before. My roommates are further in this than I am, but it's a really quick read. I think it's maybe like 100 and some pages, but apparently it's pretty funny. Obviously, this was written a long time ago, so there are some offensive topics in this and offensive words, so we are all reading this with a very critical eye. And they are enjoying it. They said it's really funny though. It reads like a comedy, and so I'm excited to get into it. Lastly, the book that absolutely terrifies me is also one of my top anticipated books of all time that I want to read. There's 2 that fit in that category, and this is for the book club that I run at the bookstore that I work at. So this book club is built all around backlisted titles. So titles that a lot of people have heard of, but just haven't gotten around to reading yet. And for March, we chose My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and I'll go into that in my wrap up. But for April, I chose, this is all my fault. I chose A Little Life. Now, I'm aware that this book is highly controversial. There are a lot of critiques on this book, so I am going in aware of that. I don't think it's gonna be spotless and pure and without fault. I'm aware, I don't need people to tell me that, but I do think this is going to be one of my favorite books of all time, including the critiques. Like, don't get me wrong, I think you can really enjoy something, me with Hemingway, and also hold it accountable for things that are not great about it. So I think the story of this is going to absolutely wreck me. I am aware of all the triggers. I personally don't have any triggers, but I am not going to be openly recommending this when I do my review. Maybe, we'll see. I'm really excited though. I've read like through some of the pages just to get idea of what the prose is like, and I really like it. So let's see if I survive this. I'll probably do a reading vlog of this and another book that are my two most anticipated of all time. So we shall see, but that's my April backlist book club pick. And now the moment I am excited for, my TBR jar. So this TBR jar has all of the books. This bookshelf that's directly behind me, you can't see a lot of it, but those are all the books that I have not read. I have other bookshelves in my room that are all my read books, but these are just my unread books, and they're like loosely organized by size, whether they're paperback or hardback, and by genre, etc. So in this jar are all of these books that are behind me, as well as ARCs. So working at a bookstore, I get access to a program that allows me to get access to ARCs, which, if you don't know what those are, it's advanced reader copies of books that are not yet published. So I have a ridiculous amount of ARCs. Most of the ARCs I was just able to have access to. I didn't have to request them, so they are not as high up on my radar because I didn't have to request and ask the publisher for them. There are a few in here that I did have to request and was granted access to the PDF of. I don't think any of those are coming until, like, their release date is in June. So I think for now we're fine, but those will have to be on my May TBR because the ones I had to request, I will absolutely be reading those in time. The rest of them, I would like to read them in time, but there are 50 something ARCs that I have. They are all in here, so we shall see. Okay. So we're going to be choosing 6 out of this jar. I will not be completing the TBR. I already know that. I'm very busy in the month of April, and A Little Life is massive. It's going to take me a lot of time to read because I really want to digest it and read it slowly. So these 6 that we're choosing are not necessarily going to be read within this month. They are going to be prioritized, if that makes sense, because I am a mood reader. So I already have 4 books that I have to finish in the month of April, and these are going to give me some in-between options that are going to be different moods to help me, but also get through my physical TBR. All right, pick number 1. They keep trying to jump out, but I'm just kind of like reaching in here. Let's see. Okay, this might be upside down. My apologies if it is. What do we have? Oh, it is. Okay, With a Vengeance. So that is Riley Sager's book that is coming out. I don't remember. I'll put the cover and the publishing date there. So With a Vengeance is one of the ARCs that I have, which I'm really excited for. I really like Riley Sager's books. I also completely understand why other people do not. So just giving that disclaimer. All right, that's really exciting because I've been in the mood for like a mystery thriller, and I think it's like set on a train. Like a, yeah, I'm really excited for it. Okay, number 2. Let's see. All right. There is no way I'm reading this one and A Little Life within the same month, but you know what? We will grab it. Where is she? Oh my goodness. Okay. Priory of the Orange Tree, also one of my top anticipated books of all time. It is not in the 2 I listed earlier. Those 2 are A Little Life and, I'll just spoil it, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Those are my 2 most anticipated books of all time. But if I had to list fantasy ones, it would be this one. But look at her. I mean, we're over 700 pages. Like, reading these in the same month. What if I do it, guys? What if I only read these 2? Okay, so Priory of the Orange Tree, we're adding it. It's probably not going to be read, but that's okay. It's okay. We'll try our best. This is a obviously very epic fantasy standalone by Samantha Shannon. There is a prequel that is out called A Day of Fallen Night, I believe is what it's called. And there is another one coming out. I saw this on that program and I do have the arc of it. And I think it's like a quarter of the size of these two books. So I don't know what that one is called, but I do have it in my arcs. All right, I guess we're adding Priory to the stack. All right, we're picking 4 more. Oh, I should show you, shouldn't I? Really getting in there. All right, Sirens and Muses. Okay, no, this one is a good pick. Let me grab it. All right, so Sirens and Muses by Antonia Angress. Absolutely stunning cover. This is a literary fiction. I believe it is set on a college setting, maybe? I don't know. I know it's about 4 different artists, and I love following literary fiction books, or I love reading literary fiction books that are following a bigger cast of characters and their interactions with one another. So gorgeous book, definitely a solid, strong addition to the TBR. 3 more to go. Okay, this one is holding on. Let's see what it is. The Rules of Magic. Okay, that one is interesting. It's right behind me. So The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. This is the same author that wrote Practical Magic, and this is within that same series. I don't believe you have to read them in any certain order, but I am reading them in chronological order of the time periods in which they are set. So this series, this interconnected kind of standalone series, is about the Owens family and the women in the Owens family who have witch blood in their bloodline. And this one I believe is set in the 60s or 70s, I believe is when this one is set. I could be totally wrong about that. I have read Magic Lessons, I believe, and that one is set in the 1600s. It follows the first person. It follows Maria Owens, the original witch that was around during the Salem witch trials, I believe. So yeah, this one is hundreds of years later in the 60s in New York City, and it's following her descendants. This is a short little book. I have actually been craving this book, so this is perfect. Her writing is so like rich and warm and just cozy and great. And yeah, I'm really excited about this one. All right, next up, I want to get one from the bottom. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't actually want to get one from the bottom. Okay, we'll go with this one. Oh, let's see. Okay. A Movable Feast. I literally just mentioned him earlier, but that is by none other than Sir Ernest Hemingway. Let me grab it. Here we are. I'm actually really excited for this one. Hemingway, for lack of a better word, is kind of an ass. Not even kind of. Part of that is a product of his time, not an excuse. I'm just saying it is the reason. It's not an excuse. You could be born in the time he was born and not be an ass. I'm aware of that. But this one is, I think it's more, okay, it says literary nonfiction. That's what I thought. So it's kind of following his group of friends or colleagues in the 20s. So they would go to cafes and discuss their writings together. And I read about that group in a fiction novel that was a kind of a retelling of him and his first wife's like story together. And I was just captivated by the way these people interacted with one another. So it follows him, F. Scott Fitzgerald, his wife Hadley, Gertrude Stein, and some Ezra Pound, some other characters that were around. And this one is very solid pick. It also would count as a classic, and I have a goal to read a certain amount of classics this year. So very solid, very short. Hemingway's writing style is very punchy, very, very short and punchy. And there's like photos of them inside. There's Hemingway and his son Bumby, Jack. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this one. I just bought this actually, so solid edition, solid edition. So the last book that the TBR jar will be giving us, let us see. Oh my gosh, somebody just So many just popped out of nowhere. Okay, let's see. Okay. We have the slip. Now, if you see my confused face, that's because I know this is an ARC and I do not remember what it's about. So I will put the cover and the publishing date. Let me look this up so I can get a summary of what it's about. This is one of them that I probably hadn't heard of before, but read the synopsis and was like, yeah, I want that ARC. It sounds right up my alley. So let me look it up. Okay, I just found it. Gorgeous cover. It says it's coming out June 3rd. So, oh gosh, hardcover by Simon & Schuster, 496 pages. Now that is an estimate because it is not published yet. Oh, okay. Okay, it's categorized as queer fiction, LGBTQIA+, adult, sports, historical fiction, literary fiction, historical. Those are the tabs that is listed under on Goodreads, and I'm sorry, I will be reading my screen and not looking at you. My apologies. So let me read this. It is for readers of Jonathan Franzen and Nathan Hill, yada yada. It is an American novel about a missing teenage boy, cases of fluid and mistaken identity, and the transformative power of boxing. Okay, the summer of 1998, and there's a new face on the scene at Terry Tucker's boxing gym. 16-year-old Nathaniel Rothstein has never felt comfortable in his own skin, but under the tutelage of a swaggering Haitian-born ex-fighter named David Dallas, he begins to come into his own. So I think it has to do... Okay. One night he vanishes, leaving little trace behind. Across the city, Charles Rex, now simply going by X, has been undergoing a teenage transformation of his own, trolling the phone sex hotline that his mother works. Okay, Freud. Freud, I wish you were here, you would love this. Seeking an outlet for everything that feels wrong about his body, looking for intimacy and acceptance in a culture that denies him both. As a surprising and unlikely romance blooms, X feels for a moment like he might have found the safety he's been searching for, but it's never that simple. More than a decade later, Nathaniel's uncle Bob receives a shocking tip, propelling him to open his own investigation into his nephew's disappearance. So I think it follows a couple of different, okay, you know when you're like, you read everything and you're like, I just read all those words and nothing sank in. So what I got from that was it's about boxing, it's about teenage boys in boxing, probably some conversations on sexuality, sexual and gender identity, and also maybe patriarchy, I'm guessing, because if we're in the 90s in a boxing scene, there's probably a lot of like masculinity conversations. It's going to be like a little bit of a mystery, maybe missing identity, or I don't know. We will see how it goes. It sounded interesting to me because it was marked as queer and historical fiction, which I tend to like. I'm not really super into sports books, but since it is a fiction, who knows? We will see. So yes, let's do a wrap up here. Oh my gosh, lifting this stack right now with the two big ones. It's gonna test me. All right, here we go. So my book club books that I must read this month, these are absolutely must reads, is A Little Life and Candide, if that's how you say that. Then the two books I am currently reading and will be finishing in April, we have Glasgow Boys, Pandora's Jar. Then we have the two ARCs, which I don't have physical copies of, but we have The Slip and With a Vengeance. And then the ones I pulled that are on my shelf were Priory of the Orange Tree, excuse me, Sirens and Muses, The Rules of Magic, and A Movable Feast. Okay, so that is 10 books, is that right? 6 plus these, yeah. Okay, 10 book TBR, which isn't absolutely crazy. I think in February I read 9 books, 8 or 9 books. I average around 6, probably 6 to 8 books a month, especially in the summer. I read a lot during the summer and as it gets warmer. So let's try to lift this. I will put the two ARCs on the screen. Here is our stack. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. We have a lot of variation here. We have 2 nonfiction, we have a couple of literary fiction, we have an epic fantasy, we have like a soft kind of cozier historical fantasy, historical fiction, queer story, and a mystery thriller. So we're all over the place here. Very excited for that. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you would like to see more content, I am coming back. I took a year hiatus, unplanned, accidental hiatus from YouTube. I was just getting into YouTube. I moved, changed jobs, had some health concerns happen. It's been all over the place, but not complaining. I took a hiatus. I'm just ready to be back and be sharing my reads with other people that may be interested. So if you liked today's video, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more content. The next video that will be coming up is my quarterly wrap up. That'll be a long one. It'll be all the books I read between January and March, and also my goals for 2025 and my stats so far this year. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.